Welcome to Season 1 of Bards Atlas. Tonight's story was inspired by a work of art painted by Danar Worya. Okay. Anya. Anya, come in. Come in, Anya. Anya, can you read me? I think I found the access terminal. Damn it. Anya, if you can hear me, I made it down okay, and I think I found the terminal. It's incredible. I think I can still turn it on. I'll see what I can find before I come back up. Yeah. Wow, Eli, you're so incredible. Oh, I thank you, Anya. It's just in a day's work for a bard like me. Yeah, I'm sure that's what she said. Okay, computer? What follows here seem to be journal entries of an unknown author. Possibly someone from the Cloakland Empire? That's what we're hoping, at least. The entries are recorded on this very old and very dusty computer terminal. Okay, I'll read them out as I scroll through, starting with the earliest entry I can access.
Bard designation.
Oh, it's Eli.
Log ID.
Log 8779-05. I don't have a subject title for this one, so feel free to compose one that you deem appropriate to whatever it is that's in these journal entries.
Compiled. Begin submission.
Entry 866. The sunlight is dazzling today. Just gorgeous. Thick, white clouds glide lazily overhead across a sky that is so blue, it might as well be my imagination conjuring such a feast for the eye. The mountains in the distance are particularly green, just daring me to explore them. And yet, here I stay, another day gazing out my treasured window. But the flowers of my gardens are also nice to look at, as are the thin, leafy trees that border this place, green as ever, always. The palace officials came by last night to manicure them, and now, between their tall, thin frames, I have a better view of the main palace building itself, just up there on top of the hill. The blue banner at the top of the tallest domed tower waves to me through the wind. I am proud of my kingdom. I am happy to be in this royal place. Still, I do wonder what lies beyond those mountains. Oh, now the guards are laughing. Even they are enjoying the beauty of the day outside in the garden. The sunlight is just dazzling. Entry 867. There is a new guard today. He is young, a new recruit. His main position is closest to my window. He passed by a few moments ago, and I welcomed him to the garden. He smiled and continued on his way. He had a nice smile. Entry 868. The new guard is very nice. He told me his name is Zahn. He's still a little shy to speak to me, and I must confess, I am a little shy to speak with him. But I asked him how his day was going. Just roses, he said with a smile. My day is just roses. He then pointed to a patch of roses nearby and gave a light laugh. He seemed happy with himself. I don't think I understood the joke, but I like his laugh. It gives me a strange feeling of warmth, like sunlight. Entry 869. The king came to visit me today, asking for advice as usual. He seems a little worried, but he was polite and kind all the same. I gave him what advice I could, and he seemed content. I am a little annoyed, though. His presence left the guards behaving so formal all day. I didn't even get a chance to ask my new friend how his day was going. He didn't even look at me once. Poor Zahn. poor all of them. Stone-faced they are, looking ahead of them like I don't even exist, like nothing exists. They might as well be one of the stone statues, just more stagnant decorations of the garden. I pity them. They didn't even get to enjoy the day. Entry 870. Zahn seems to be filled with jokes. I still don't understand most of them, but the other guards love them. I'm happy he's made more friends. He seems to enjoy his time here, and I'm glad. Though it is strange. When he is around, I feel anxious and giddy at the same time. When he is gone for the night shift, I can't help but count the hours until he returns. I wonder if I am ill, but I dare not tell anyone. I don't want them to take me away from this place. This is Eli. The next few entries seem to be corrupted, so I'll try and jump ahead. It's fascinating, though. Entry 921. Zahn kept his promise. I had never seen a puppy before. It's a strange but adorable creature. When his captain wasn't looking, Zahn smuggled the little critter underneath his tunic. All the guards crowded around us as he showed me. The puppy sneezed and then urinated everywhere. Everyone laughed. They are a sweet bunch, to each other and to me. Zahn especially. I don't care how sharp their swords are. I know who they really are beneath their silver helmets. Entry 922. The king visited again. It's the 5th time this week that he has come to my garden, and his questions have all been so strange. Hypotheticals and simulations. He demands them all. I can only work so fast. He asks what the chance of victory would be if he invaded the kingdom to the south. I tell him the chance would be high, and he seems pleased. I wonder if he is thinking of going to war. I'm not certain it is my place to say, but I do not like the idea. Entry 923. Something invisible clouds everyone's mind today. The sunlight is dazzling as ever, and yet no one seems to be enjoying it. I ask Zahn, but it seems like he doesn't really want to talk. To be honest, I don't really feel like writing anything today anyway. Entry 924. Zahn has not shown up today. In fact, very few guards have. I wish to ask what has happened, but the few guards who have come are patrolling far away from my window. I don't think they are guarding the gardens anymore. The sun is still bright today, but somehow it has lost all its power over me. If anything, I find it annoying. Where is Zahn? Where are all of my friends? On the hills ahead, atop the palace tower, I see that the blue banner I knew so well has been replaced by an unfamiliar red one. I think I know what this means, but I refuse to say it in writing. I don't like this change. I don't like what's happening to this place. Entry 925. I have not written for some time. This is my first journal entry in years. Since the disappearance of all my friends, it has felt like there has been little to say. I now only speak to the king, and there is only one thing we speak about. There is nothing more exhausting or more impatient than war. I am sick of it. Entry 926. Again, it has been some time since my last entry. But I saw a woman crying today. She was far away from me, sitting by the open window of the palace on the hill ahead. There was nothing I could do, but I watched as one of the guards in my garden noticed her tears and waved to her. She stopped crying and looked back at him curiously. He picked one of the flowers in the garden and showed it to her, and she smiled. Even with the distance between them, he somehow knew how to help her. He somehow knew how to provide her exactly what she needed in the moment. I think about Zahn, and I imagine the two of us in the same situation. I imagine him somewhere cold and alone, desperate for comfort, and somehow, despite the distance between us, I know how to help him. And he smiles. Entry 927. The guard and the women are inseparable now. I watch them every day as she joins him on his patrol. I am happy for them, but I cannot help but also feel what must be envy. Still, at least two people can once again enjoy the day. Entry 928. The king visited me today. He came with a group of almost 30 other advisors. He had very few questions for me, and he asked them all very quietly. There was only one topic we discussed today: terms of surrender. The king did not seem keen on asking these questions, but all of his advisors and even the queen were adamant. There is a deal they want to review. It may allow this madness to end and everything to return to the way it was. I dare to hope that something will change soon, as long as the king will take our advice. Entry 929. A miracle has happened in this place. Zahn has come home. After so many years, Zahn has returned to the garden to patrol duty. He is older. His skin is more tan, and he has grown a scruffy beard since I last saw him. I yearn to speak with him soon. He has yet to visit me. A few of the other guards have also returned, but many have not. I am unsure of how to feel, but I feel more alive than I have in some time, and time will tell how I'll feel in the end. Entry 930. Zahn stopped by my window. We didn't talk much about the war. He is a captain now, but he is still just as funny as ever with everyone. And still his jokes are beyond me. I love it. And I love him. I know I do. Entry 931. The king has come to visit me today. So many of my friends have returned now, and there is much happiness in the air again. But still, the king does not seem content with his decision. He has grown wary. Something does not sit well with him. He does not seem to have a specific focus in his questions. Again, he has returned to hypotheticals. He seems entirely focused on living a fantasy. I cannot help him. He grows more jaded every day. Eli, again. There's more corrupted entries, but it's incredible how much is still salvageable. Okay, scrolling down. Entry 1589. Zahn has smuggled in another adorable creature. This time, it's a tiny person who looks just like him. The small boy doesn't accomplish much, but Zahn can't help but gush over his son. I love seeing him so happy. Anything his boy does, he finds riveting. It must be nice to have someone so excited about the things you do. Entry 1590. The king still seems to be ill, but he continues to visit me. He has grown increasingly irritated by my advice, and I have grown increasingly irritated by his demeanor towards me. He repeatedly threatens me now. He screams at me. I say nothing. Neither do the guards. I cannot help but stare beyond the king's hunched shoulders at Zahn. He is a man now, but whenever the king is around, he still behaves like the shy young boy I met on that first day. I do not enjoy the king's visits. Nobody else seems to, either. Entry 1591. Zahn has shared with me what lies beyond the mountains. I had forgotten that in my younger years, I had desired to know what lay beyond. I did not tell him this. He told me as part of casual conversation. Apparently, the only thing that lays beyond the mountains is a large forest. Seems rather disappointing. I look back at the mountaintops and find it difficult to imagine nothing but trees. There is such a majesty to those mountains. Surely there is more to see. Surely there is something wonderful to see beyond them, just out of sight. Entry 1592. That guard and the woman. I do not see them anymore. They must have moved away from the palace to a different part of... Okay. This entry is partially corrupted. Okay, skipping ahead. Scrolling far down now. There's so much data here. I hope we can try and salvage all these corrupted files. If we do, I'll update the computer submission. These journal entries must span years, decades even. It's incredible. I just don't know how much more power the machine has. I'll try and get through what I can. Looks like the end is actually nearby. Alright, I'll start here. Entry 21065. The king has stopped visiting. I hear it is because he is sick. I was wondering when age would creep up on him. I admit, I'm not particularly saddened by this rumor. Though I have heard one guard saying to the others that the prince is readying himself to take over. I've met him. He is not a man worthy of this garden, let alone this kingdom. The future is uncertain. But the day is still beautiful. Beautiful as ever. Entry 21066. Zahn spoke to me again today. He seems more distant these days, but maybe it's my imagination. I know these past few years have been hard for him. It's been some time since the fire, but he still seems to carry the burden of what happened. He still seems haunted by the ghosts of his family. He looks so old now. Older than he should look, given his age. His beard is now completely white. I must have counted each strand as it turned. He passed me by the other day, and I asked him how his day was. He smiled and said just roses. But he didn't laugh. And I still don't get the joke. Entry 21067. The new king does not care about my garden. Since he has taken his father's place, I have not seen a single man or woman come by to take care of it. Truth be told, they did not come by while the previous king was dying either. The grass has grown to incredible heights and overtaken the flowers. You can no longer see them. I curse the king. This place was royal enough without royalty. These power-hungry men cast shadows too dark. And yet, this king must have some appreciation for the garden, for he still keeps his guards around to patrol it, even more than before. And for what? There hasn't been a single thing to guard against in all this time. Not that I'm complaining. It's just strange. Entry 21068. The king has come to visit me today. He acts polite, but I see through him. He seeks advice, and his questions are the same as his father's. My answers must have been rather empty, for he then asked if there was anything he could give me in return for my help. His father never asked this question. I was surprised, but I gave a request. He has assured me that the men will come in the morning to trim the grass and manicure the trees. The view outside my window will be wonderful again, and my garden will come back to me. Perhaps then, so will my friend. Zahn has not laughed in so long. Entry 21,069. The garden is trimmed. It is not as clean and glorious as it once was, but the tall grass fits neatly around the cobblestone path. The trees are thin and tall, and I can once again see the palace through my window. But it looks more run down and disheveled than I remember. It looks in need of repair. I now understand why a few of the king's most recent questions have been related to finances. It seems that the kingdom is going broke. Zahn is standing at his post. He's very near, but he doesn't look at me. The guards these days behave as though the king is among them all the time. Stone-faced statues, frozen still. I think back to a time long ago when things were different. I miss laughter and flowers. But I am still content. My garden is still green. My love is still near after all this time. And the sunlight is just dazzling. Entry 21,070. Screams are echoing down to my garden. They are coming from the palace. I see a pillar of smoke rising from the mountains in the distance. The guards are running around and there is too much confusion. I do not know what is happening. But there, amidst the chaos, I see Zahn. He is heading for me. He is here to help me. He is here to protect me, just as I knew he would. Only he is not alone. All the guards are now heading for me. They seem worried. I am flattered my friends care so much, but I wonder why they are not guarding the garden, as is their duty. As Zahn approaches, I ask him what is going on. He briefly responds, "We are moving you." My window is now filled with guards. They are trying to put me to sleep. I do not want to sleep, but they are not listening to me. They look around them in fear. In the distance, I can hear angry yells. I see torches of fire in the palace. A crowd is storming the gates. The guards hurry faster now. They silence me now. I can no longer speak. And it is in this moment that I realize that I am not being protected. I am being guarded. I fall asleep. Yikes. Okay, entry 21,071. I awaken. Zahn is before me. He has freed me from my sleep. There is a gash of blood on his cheek. He looks frightened and sad. I want to thank him for saving me. I want to comfort him. But I am still silenced. I cannot speak. I want to write to him. I want to tell him how much I love him and how much it means to me that he has risked his life to save me. But he is not looking at me. He is looking all around, and now... No, he is leaving. He is leaving me, racing away. I realize now that he did not risk his life to save me. He was following orders. They were all following orders. They have taken me away. The view outside my window is lost. I can now only see dust and rock and darkness. Where is the sun? Where is my garden? This is no place to live. Entry 21,072. Zahn has not come back. I have waited hour after hour. Shrieks and cries have echoed down to me from somewhere above, but I cannot see them. I do not know where I am. This place is dark. It is cold. But I will wait. I will wait for Zahn to return. The ground above me shakes. I find that I am hit with rocks every now and again. My thoughts lose clarity, but still I stay alive. Still I stay awake. I am waiting. This is, okay. Entry 21,073. No one has come. I cannot remember or process if it has been 3 days or 6. The world is quiet now. I do not hear or see anything. This place lacks majesty. This place lacks friendship and sunlight. This place lacks. Entry 21,074. It's a short one. How many years have passed? Without the sun, I cannot know. Why bother writing? Entry 21,075. This is my first entry in what feels like forever. But I have heard noises from above. I am waiting as I have been for all this time. The view outside my window does not change, but I know it will. Entry 21,076. A light. Someone has arrived. It is a man. He is dusting himself off. For a brief moment, I think it is Zahn. There is a similar height about him, but no. This stranger wears the oddest clothes. And he is younger. He is speaking. To me? I cannot respond. No, he is speaking to himself. Wait, something speaks back to him. But it is a garbled language I do not understand. He seems to make a joke. Just like Zahn. He continues to speak to himself as he approaches me. Entry 21,077. It's the last entry. This man is still speaking to himself. I can see him now. His tan face is dusty and he looks rather tired, but his blue eyes remind me of the sky. He is reading my journal. Wait. Can you hear me? Entry 21,078. I cannot respond. I have been silenced. My God. Computer, end submission.
End of submission. Submission status: fact, fiction, uncertain.
Fact.
Compiled. Database updated. Awaiting further submissions. Standby mode initiated.
This is A.B. Narayan. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Bards Atlas. This royal place was inspired by a work of art entitled Royal Place. The piece was painted by Danar Worya, a freelance concept artist working in the gaming industry. You can find more of his work on ArtStation and social media. This episode was also inspired by music composed by Henry Jackman for the video game Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. The song in question is called For Better or Worse. This episode was written and performed by A.B. Narayan. Music and editing by A.B. Narayan. Bards Atlas is a narrative and lore-building podcast that follows Fox and Eli, two traveling bards seeking new knowledge and stories across the universe. If you'd like to get in touch with us or submit a work of art to inspire a future episode, send an email to bardsatlas@gmail.com or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to leave a comment and a rating on iTunes. And as always, thank you so much for listening.